Hello, everyone, and welcome. Carrie here from HomeSteadHow and the Carnivore Diet Movie, along with my friend Graham from Carnivore Transformer. How's it going, Graham?
I'm good, Gary. Had a nice nap, but I'm great.
Nice. It's nice to see you again. I've been looking forward to talking to you some more. We had a great conversation during our 10-hour live stream. Uh,
Mm.
Graham and I were just talking about that before, and it's kind of a blur to me. I can't believe I just yesterday was my 200th day as a carnivore. Which what about you? Is that the same? We were pretty
It's
close, right?
200 today.
Oh wow! So I got you beat by one day. That's
One
awesome.
day.
That's really cool. It doesn't it. It's weird because when I say 200 days, that seems like so long,
Yeah,
but it's 6 months. It's not that long in the grand scheme of my entire life, I guess. But
yeah,
so much
yeah,
has happened in 6 months. It seems like a long time in that regard. But
yeah. I agree. Totally.
yeah, so oh, we got some people jumping on. If you have questions, leave them in the side with a big Q. But I was interested. We chatted briefly during the 10-hour live stream, and you seem really kind of passionate and fired up about carnivore, similar to me. And I really enjoyed talking to you. So I wanted to hear more about your story. Sandra Johnson just said, "Is this live?" Yes, this is live. Ask any questions live.
Yeah.
Put a big Q next to them. Oh, we got Primal Mike in the chat too. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing
Mm-hmm.
well. Caught that you did a video with I think JT the other day. That was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Graham, could you tell us maybe a little bit more about yourself and where you're from and your carnivore story?
Okay. Let's say I'm from South Africa, mostly the Cape Town area, close to the coast, where Table Mountain is. Um, and let's start with my story. So my story started, I think, with 2015 being diagnosed with hypertension. And basically, if I have to just backtrack, my father was a diabetic, he was a hypertension sufferer as well. And my mother also. And my mother was had a stroke in 2007. So also related to hypertension. So as for me coming into the fold of 2015 and being diagnosed with hypertension, I was like, can you say, nervous. This is I'm following the genes, like they say, the genes um, of the family line. Looking at my other uncle, he was also my from my dad's side. He was also diabetic type of thing, and so it's like you following a line of the family bloodline.
Hmm.
And for me, it was a bit scared, but I wasn't too worried about. And yes, my father passed away in 2009. So yeah, and I thought, okay, it's diabetes. However, as time went on, I'm started to get heavy. I think the photo was just when on the thumbnail is just when got worried because my mom passed away at that time,
Hmm.
2019, in that year, and that was like also from a stroke, but she was around about 81 at that time. But yeah, and I was looking at myself and like being shocked. This happened, so I might be following the same trend. That was my worries. Um, and having a friend at work with symptoms who was a diabetic type 2, having symptoms and not symptoms, he's telling me what the symptoms, pre-symptoms are of diabetes. I was a bit worried because I started to see signs of it. I'm starting to get heavy. Um, Headaches started to be more frequent. I used to be migraine headaches, but it started to become frequent. I could have said every time of the week, I'm gonna have a migraine like in 2 days' time because I started to feel it, and it's normally lasted 3 days. Um, so that became frequent, and it's like my whole system became out of bounds because of just picking up weight. Then I started to look for solutions. Maybe there's a solution, and the desire, then that desire of, I'm tired of drinking pills from 2015 to 2019. I'm tired of drinking pills, and I was thinking, this is it. And this pulse is leading to something other than that. Um, so from at the end of 2019, I saw this clip about intermittent fasting. So I hopped on the bandwagon of intermittent fasting. And from there onwards, I think in March of 2020, COVID hit the worldwide landscape, and I was at home. And obviously, when you're at home, you're so disciplined. When you're at work, you don't need to take food to work, but you can eat at home. But so disciplined in that manner that when COVID struck, I've lost 10 kilos already, which means it's around about 20 pounds just in that span of 3 months. And then COVID hit, and I was like on and off with intermittent fasting because I'm at home, starting to eat again 3 meals a day, and all day long. It was a very sad time for me because I was on the sad diet. So coming into going on for from 2020 until 2020, end of 2022, it was just intermittent fasting on and off. And in that time, I also spiked my highest, which is 105 kilos. I think it's roughly 220, 226 pounds. So spiking up to there. And obviously, the higher my weight goes, the symptoms of headaches coming back, and you just doesn't feel right anymore, and you just feel tired, exhausted every day. Even if you wake up, you're exhausted. So my days were like, I'm thinking it wasn't a pleasant time for me at that time. So I started to look at 2023 again. Okay, what can help me lose but weight? And with that, in March of 2023, I discovered, or not I discovered, I saw a video. Um, Carnivore changed my life, or but it was Amanda. This is day 253 of Amanda's video. And I was like, what is carnivore? Never heard of carnivore diet. And as I did my research, it only took 2 days because I just jumped in there after. But my research was on what is carnivore diet. Went back to how Amanda looked like when she started because she had a nice documentary of herself starting and that point where she said, this is enough. And I was like, whoa, look at this girl. Um, and then I went to go look at Dr. Candy Berry, came up. What's the basics? How do you start this whole carnivore diet? And I was like, okay, this sounds easy. It's only meat. I don't need to do all the other things. Buy other things. So I was looking, and then I think there was another lady who gave a shopping list, another YouTuber who gave a shopping list of what to buy and what not to buy. And I was like, okay, I'm happy I got this stuff, some of this stuff in the house, so I can start immediately. And my last search was there any person saying anything about hypertension and carnivore? Did it help them? And I found two ladies that spoke about their journey. Basically, it's like a 30 or 60 day, their journey that they are off their tablets. And that was like, this is a winner. My that vision of I'm gonna get off tablets, there is something, um, was like that spark for me. And I said to my wife, I'm going to do this. Are you coming with? And she said, no, you crazy. You crazy, Graham. I'm not going to eat meat all the time. That's how she started. And I said, but it will help you. It's like we were always doing funny diets. Let me say funny diets, juice diet.
Hmm.
Um, there was this um, cabbage, cabbage soup, which if you drink it for 5 days, you will also lose weight. There was that, but it's soup every day and it's cabbage. Um, and there was another funny one, but before I started in March, I was on this thing called turmeric milk,
Hmm.
where you had to buy this turmeric powder, mix it with water, and then drink it. Obviously, it didn't taste nice, but just trying it. But then Carnivore, Amanda's video just saved that for me because I was like 4 days going in and was like, I don't know if I'm gonna carry on. But my desire to lose weight was more stronger, just to get out of this headaches and all this other things. So let me just track back, yes. And then after I discussed my wife and I said, okay, on the 22nd of March, I said to her, I'm gonna start. What is there? There was eggs, there was the meat that she made, and then I started to become fussy. You shouldn't make my meat with vegetables, please. It should be separate. Then I started to become fussy with her. And um the beginning of April, I started to buy my own meat. And I said, I'm gonna cook my own meat, which is taking control of what I put in my system. And that's where I started with the carnivore, um, as the journey for me.
Wow. When you started carnivore, you said you did a lot of different diets. Had you ever done keto or like a really low carb diet?
For me, keto sounded expensive
Mm.
because you had to buy meat and you had to buy the veggies organic. That's how I saw it, organic stuff. And it was like, nah, this is expensive. And it's not only for me, it's for the family as well. So if I do something, it should be for everybody. But carnivore changed all that, where I said, no, you don't want to try this, I want to try this. It's gonna happen.
Hmm. So when you started carnivore, did you have any issues? Because some people will do keto and then ease into it because it could be kind of a big shock to the system. Was it fine for you those like that first week or 10 days or so?
For me, doing intermittent fasting, I think that was the key for me, that didn't have any issues. However, there was one thing that bothered me. It was on my right side, I think my liver side, the gallbladder side. It was just giving such small pains. And then I just rub it, then it's gone.
Mm.
And I think in my stool it was slightly green. So I knew of all the videos that I've watched, because I went to go watch Dr. Kenberry on pooping and all that, and I saw, okay, these things happen. So I just like, okay, it maybe this is the way. But I was looking, where's that keto flu? That was the one.
Mm.
And the diarrhea, I was looking for that. When is that gonna happen? But I think it for me it was more to the intermittent fasting that helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you so many people hear about carnivore and then they get excited about it, but then they're scared for all these questions. It sounds like you just dug in and did a bunch of research, Dr. Barry and all these YouTube sources. Did you
Mm.
do like a lot of that? Was that a big part of it?
No. I even made a list. It wasn't that big. It was like maybe, like say Dr. Ken Berry, I think Laura Spa is the Kelly Hogan is in there, the 13-year old. I think that was the 13-year-old carnivore. That inspired me because it told me like, no, you don't need to do this for a certain period. You can go longer than a year or so. So that was the inspiration for that. Um, then Dr. Kenberry's list of things. That was like, okay, he says this on the, but I think he confused me somewhere along the line with the keto. I think there was that month of the carnivore keto, and yeah, it was a month where I said, if I see keto, I'm gonna switch off. I just want to see carnivore.
Right. You
Just be inspired by that.
sure. Yeah, you sound like me because I had some success with keto, but I can't moderate. Like if I have any little bit of sugar or anything like that, I start kind of like you mentioned during COVID times. You're stuck at home or whatever, and you start eating more and more and more. You have good intentions,
Mm,
but it's kind of hard when you have an addiction to sugar and carbs and stuff like that
yeah.
to have them just a little bit. But so what were the first what were the first things you started noticing when you did carnivore? Like maybe a couple days or a couple weeks into it.
Well, you can call me nuts. I got this habit since way back since 2015, standing on a scale every morning. Sometimes I was angry if I just missed the day.
Hmm.
So standing on the scale was my thing, and I saw weight loss, and I'm like, okay. And then when weight loss started to happen, I was like, wait, I got the blood pressure machine as well. Let me check that because I know my blood pressure is high. So at that time, it was a bit high. I think it was in the 140s, 85s, around about there. Um, and I also have a glucose tester. So I started to do that also. So that first showed me something is happening inside by eating meat. So that started to drop. The level started to drop from a 7.5 to a 6, 6.3, and then it started to drop into the 5, with 5 to 6%, 5 to 6 range. It started to drop between there, and I was like, aha, yes, something. This is something good. Um, then the weight loss was like, okay, I still look the same, still look the same. Then I heard about inches. The weight loss is there, but then I heard about inches because my figure, if I look in the mirror, it still looks the same. There wasn't any difference until I took photos and compare. Yeah,
Right.
but that was the first things that really took note of that. Yes, that happened.
Just wanted to show people one of those photos you were talking about. You could see,
Yeah, that's just starting out. That is just before.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm also shocked, and people that I show that photo, they say, no, that's not me.
And such a short time too. 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
And so what about like the migraines or mood or mental? Did you start noticing any of that changing?
Yeah, that stopped. Now I'm gonna call it a headache because it doesn't last more than 3 days. That stopped. If I do have a headache, my and it's my body saying, you need some food here. Don't overdo it." And that was on the OMAD. I used to go 24, 25 hours OMAD and then start eating. So that was one of when I do have a headache. That was one of the triggers that I know I need to eat. Um, as for mental clarity, yes, yes. When I saw your video at 30 days, Gary, about you popping up all those things that disappeared, I was like first stuck by, wow, listen to this guy. This guy is like, he had a lot of issues. I'm just suffering with this hypertension issue. And listen to all his list of things, mental clarity. And with what you were saying, I was like looking back at me, did all these things happen to me?
Hmm.
And it was your video was the eye opener to, yes, you suffer from all these things. And I think anxiety was one of those things, but yeah, by us, we must just stay strong. We don't go to a doctor. Or maybe rather say my upbringing was that you must work it out yourself. So anxiety, I used to can't sleep properly. You go to bed, you awake, your mind is just running around with you. Um, and I think I suffered from it. Um, and then I think 1 o'clock, then up again at 4. How can a person sleep like that? So that was one of the things that really struck out from what you say, mental clarity, and then at work. Um, Having now this thoughts coming back. Um, I've been working for this company for 22 years. Um, they see me as the one that can help them when we talk about flows and all this, flow of the products and stuff like that. And normally, I don't used to remember these things of what happened with the flow of a product, how it goes or stuff. At that time, when I was a little bit of overweight, I'm gonna say a little bit, but I was a lot. At that time, it was difficult. Then I used to go to the floor, being mental clarity, being out of that um, kind of job that I was in um, for 10 years. I'm back into it again now, like the manager of that job. Um, it's like everything is like just clear. It's like I was yesterday on that floor. And now the other day I had to take somebody to for a tour. I somebody new employed, so I had to take this person on a tour. And this person said, you know your the factory very well, the processes and all that. And I said, but I was there like 10 years ago. I was still like active in that, but I wouldn't have known if you asked me like 2 years or like last year. Then I had to like try and figure out what was happening.
Mm.
And yeah, but yeah, that clearly came through even with my work with somebody asking me something like 3 or 4 years ago, asking me a question about anything about work related. Then I would answer them, but you said that time. And that was fascinating for me. That was the mental clarity that I had, clearer thinking as well, and making decisions as well. It's like now you say stop. You don't react anymore. You say stop. Let's think this through. Let's just relax. I don't think it's gonna be that. We I don't need to do that type of action now. Yeah. So
That's so cool. I love hearing that. That was one of the biggest things for me too. I mentioned in that video that you mentioned earlier, the 30-day one was my brain fog clearing. I
mm,
didn't go on carnivore or try to do any of this for brain fog. I always knew I had it, but it's
yeah.
interesting because in that video I mentioned I watch Jeopardy every day, and after
Mm,
starting as I progressed further in carnivore, I would start like getting all these answers correct. I've gotten so many comments on that video. They're like, "Oh, you're full of it. That's a lie. Like, how could you get smarter?" And I'm like,
mm, mm,
It's really makes sense because before it was such a brain fog. You couldn't think. It's just like when you struggle to find a word you're looking for. People can all relate to that. I don't have that on carnivore anymore. It sounds like it's the same thing for you, which is
mm,
amazing in just 6 months. So
yeah.
do you feel like you're doing better at your job? You're like you're more productive. You're a better worker.
Uh, uh, if I have to say, I'm super productive. I'm like a superman. I do PC stuff, like Excel, and I'm like super in that now. It's not anymore slow. It's like everything is like my brain is working overtime, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say much more because then the people is gonna know. I work in the mornings. Let me rather say very quickly. So yeah, then I sit and I think all day. Think I said enough.
I got you. It's something. It's hard to describe to people too because on one hand it's understandable the brain fog goes away. There's been a lot of research on that. You have inflammation and you get rid of that inflammation, which
Yeah.
like so many people are worried about carnivore because of cholesterol. Everyone in the world should be worried about inflammation, and nobody is. Not just because of brain fog, but all of the other issues, the heart disease and cancer, and all the other things that are downstream from having that inflammation. But the brain fog, besides that, it's some weird thing I've been noticing, Graham. I don't know if you notice this too, but it's just like in some ways it feels like you're kind of tapping into a different part of your brain that you never used before. Like when I'm reading stuff, I just tend to comprehend it more. Maybe it's the brain fog. I don't know, but it's weird. Like some of the videos I do, people will be like, "Oh, you just talked for like 30 minutes straight without looking at anything." And it's I never could do that before. It's some weird thing with carnivore. It's like your brain just works so much more efficiently. And there's studies on that too. When you're burning
Mm,
when you're burning fat and you're in ketosis, your heart and your brain function more efficiently. But yeah, it's so interesting hearing you say that because I've noticed the same thing too with my work that I do. It seems
mm,
like it's going way better the last 6 months.
yeah,
And like if you put it on a chart, success
yeah.
metrics or whatever they are, it's just
It just go.
productivity, everything. And it's like
Yeah,
when is it going to stop? Because Graham, you and I are just 6 months into this. What's it going to be like in a year or a couple of years?
I'm
Uh,
getting scared.
right? I know. Well, I've heard people too. Like Dr. Chafee told me around 2 months. I was like, I could never feel any better than I do now. And he was like, just wait,
Mm,
it gets better. Your just your cells, your mitochondria, everything in the background keeps going. The further you get into carnivore, and it's just going to get better and better. And I thought he was full of it. It's like, but I'm like, it's true. I had 6 months. I feel better now than I did on month 5, and better than at month 4, and it just keeps getting
mm.
better. So
Yeah, I feel. I would say I feel so much younger than that. I think I'm like a teenager now. That's so much better it gets.
yes. What is it like in there in South Africa? Like, is anyone know anything about this, or are you just kind of the weird guy eating meat all the time, or are you kind of a standout there for your friends and family and coworkers and stuff?
Yeah, the funny, the weird part is seeing me back 6 months ago versus seeing me now. So those are people that just merely pop in now and then would ask me, "Are you sick?
Oh,
Are you sick because it looks like you got something funny going?" Um, that's the one thing. Others who are with me seeing this change and saying, "Graham, what are you busy with now?" Because they know about the intermittent fasting. And when I said carnivore, they were like, eating only meat. No, 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 no. It's not gonna work. They can't see themselves eating meat.
mm,
And that's so funny. For me, okay, for me now it's funny, but at that time I was like, I wanna see what can happen. For me it's like I think I'm more like Rick in the sense of I wanna see if this thing gonna work and I'll be the guinea pig. I'm gonna take the rap
mm.
if anything goes wrong. And I think this week there's our HR who didn't see me in a long time. Came into the office and just asked, "You lost a little bit weight. What did you do?" And I said to her, "I only eat meat." No, 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 no. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
No,
And she's like insisting. Tim Noakes. I don't know if you heard of Tim Noakes.
no.
Okay, so he's our low carb, high fat, high fat guy. He wrote a book. I think something revolution, something about or the meal revolution, something like that. Maybe some of our South African people in the chat can help me with that because I know there are South Africans in that's watching us. Maybe they can help us. So he wrote a book, starting this low carb, high fat diet, and he was taken to court.
Oh yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear you before. It was Tim Noakes,
Tom
or I
Tom
know.
Noakes, yes, yeah, Tom
Yes,
Noakes.
it's
Sorry,
insane what happened to him. Yeah.
yeah. So she was then babbling all about him and eating meat is gonna do this to you and say, but the science is wrong. And then I just left her because I don't want to argue. She's just saying no, it's not working.
Mm. And
So yeah,
meanwhile, look at you. I, I've
yeah.
gotten that comment too. How does that make you feel when people say that to you? Are you sick?
It makes me okay. I laugh at him and say, no, no, I'm not. Yeah, today as well when I went to the butchery, I went to go buy a bag of fat, beef fat, um, and I got a discount on it. This guy at the shop used to work at the restaurant. Now he's at this shop, and he saw I had this big bag, 5 kilos, um, of fat, and he came and he said, "No, discounted. So I pay half the price." So he asked me, "What do you use it for?" And I said, "Well, let me first show you the picture. This is how I looked. This is how I look now. That's the reason why I'm taking this fat. At the back of my top, Carnivore Transformer, then he read the front. I eat meat only, or I eat meat. Ask me why." And then he started laughing. And I said, "Remember, I came here and I asked, what's the price for half a cow? The time when Bill Not was looking at half a cow. I went to go ask them, what's the price for half a cow just to see." So I said, "Remember that time? That time I was desperate to just eat meat. So hence me coming to you guys. I saw you gave me fat last time. So now I'm buying fat here by you guys. If you can't give me the half a cow, give me the fat."
Right. It's the best
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny how you mentioned it though. I've had people come into the movie theater that have said that to me, and we had a family get together. They're like,
Mm.
"Are you okay? Are you sick?" And they all mean well, but it's frustrating to me. I said this to someone. I'm like, I've never been healthier in my life, not just because I lost the weight, but the things that you mentioned, the brain
Mm.
fog, the sleep apnea is gone,
Yeah.
the arthritis I had in my foot. I literally feel like I could run a marathon before, where before when I stood up, I would get dizzy because my heart, I have a low ejection fraction, irregular heartbeat.
Mm.
I have none of that anymore. So it's the people mean well, so I'm always trying to be kind, but I'm like, nobody was asking me if I was okay or if I was sick when I was a
Mm.
100 pounds heavier than I am now and absolutely miserable, gasping for air at night. And I was so sick then. Nobody worried about it. They would say, "Oh, here, have a cupcake or a donut or something like that at the
Yeah.
family get-togethers." And now that I'm
Exactly.
abstaining from it, I think it's a thing too, like family get-togethers where they subconsciously they kind of feel bad, like they're doing something wrong, and they see that I'm having the success, and they're
Mm.
and some of them mean well too, because they're genuinely confused because
Mm.
everything they've been told is the opposite. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because over the last like 2 weeks, I think I've had that comment 3 times. Are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'm great. I've never been better my entire life.
Yeah. We can run a marathon now.
Right. Well, it's the other thing too. Like you've lost all the weight, but you could just see it in your face. You see just the carnivore glow, like the youthful kind of thing. It's always hard to kind of pinpoint what that is, but it sure is something. Yeah, Professor Tim Noakes. Yeah, in fact,
Dude.
I was just watching. I've watched it already, but I was rewatching it. Fat
Mm.
Fiction, a really
Yeah.
good documentary, and they cover Tim Noakes in there too, and
Mm.
just incredible what they're doing to that guy or what they did to him. Um,
Mm. Yeah.
so
Back
no, go
in
ahead.
the day, they had him on the radio, or there was this Christian radio broadcasting that did this diet and explained that it's this and this, and this lady was eating eggs and all this, and she was just raving about it. And that's how, for me, the real meal revolution came into being for me, and say, oh, and I went to go see if I can do those things, and I was a bit on it. But like I said, it sounds like a keto,
Mm,
and it started to became expensive because what you had to buy, the greens and the meat, started to become expensive for my pocket. So
right.
yeah.
Is it frustrating for you now having this information and then looking around and seeing so many people still suffering from things when you know it's just your nutrition?
um I can give you some stories. um Looking at people, more to people that I know, the one person that I said It's a guy. I said, "Hey, what baby are you carrying around?" He was looking at me funny. Said, "Look at that belly of yours. You know you're sick." I was like, direct. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Look there. Can't you see? Look here. Look there. My child is gone already. Look at your child. You still you like nearly 9 months here." So big,
Triplets.
but yeah, but that's just trying to get that message across. Um, Seeing other people that I like don't know, it's like for me, I feel sad. I feel
Hmm.
like isn't there a way that I can just approach them? And I know it's an offensive thing to say, listen here, you're not looking too good, but no, I'm feeling good. That type of sometimes, but people that I know, I try and encourage them. Listen here, here is a way. Here
Mm.
is a way. You don't need to suffer that way. Even in this week, this new person that started, I even she said that dad is obese. Um, and I said, but your dad, tell your dad there is a way. There is a thing called the carnivore diet. Um, However, you the child, do the research. I know your dad is not. Do the research and then you try and promote it for him. And she was thinking. Then I showed her Bill Nut and I showed her intentional Sean. And she was like, I said, is your dad like intentional Sean? He said, he's not yet there. So I said, there's hope, man. There's hope in this.
Mm.
So yeah.
Plant the
But
seed.
yeah, yeah, and yes, others that I speak to, the excuses still stays the same. I can't eat meat every day, and that stays the same.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. It's it's tough. I that's the whole reason for the Carnivore Diet Documentary. Put the examples out there, and then it can resonate with people because as much as we want to, especially loved ones, you can't change them. The only
mm,
thing that's happened for me recently that's just I was just of the mindset I'll just keep putting my example out there. If anyone asks me, I'm more than happy to talk to them for hours about carnivore, help them any way I
mm,
can. Um,
mm.
but talking to during the 24-hour live stream, Lee Kopis, who lost his colon.
Colon. Mm,
Yeah, I was so sad. And then he said something that really stuck with me. And now my new friend Jeff DeProsperous, who's going through stage 4 cancer, where it's like some people aren't going to do this. They're going to say I can't just eat meat or whatever
mm,
until they're too desperate, and then they're going to do it. But then these guys like Lee and Jeff are like, hopefully it's not too late for them, and it's something irreversible, like losing your colon or getting cancer or something that can't be reversed.
mm,
Um, Sadly, it feels like it's going to be that way for people because it's getting worse. It's just I don't know if I see it clearer now with my carnivore brain and without the brain fog. But like you were saying, the guy that looked like he was pregnant. I don't know what it's like in South Africa, Graham, but here, like I said, I go to the grocery store and everyone looks like that. It's very rare to see anyone not like that. Um,
mm,
we had the heart surgeon Dr. Philip Ovadia on, and he was saying 88% of people in the general public have poor metabolic health. And a lot
mm,
of those people have inflammation, and chronic inflammation leads to cancer and heart disease and diabetes and all these things. Nobody's worried about it, but the belly thing too. People are like, "Oh, you shouldn't shame people." I'm not shaming people. I've put pictures of myself up with that belly. And it's really crazy when you think about it. Like if you take a big step back, it's like we're actually deforming our bodies with the
mm.
food we're eating. It's like
Correct.
you're deformed if you're sitting there with a big belly like you're pregnant with triplets walking around.
Mm,
You've deformed your body, but it's just normal because everyone's done it. But it's really crazy because, like Dr. Chafee says, you see an animal in the wild with a deformed body like that, and its hair falling out and all those things. You'd be like, what is
mm.
wrong? That poor animal. There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
it's one of the things though that is encouraging. That's kind of the negative side of things.
mm.
It seems like carnivore is spreading like crazy. There's like more and more people talking about it. There's lots of new YouTube channels popping up. So
Yeah.
that's one real encouraging thing. And the we talked about this in the 24-hour live stream, but the ripple effect. Like you're having the ripple effect. People are looking at you, Graham, like, wow, look at
Yeah,
this transformation. Maybe they're not going to start it now, but you planted that seed and they're thinking about it. And then someone else starts it and someone else starts it. And it just keeps
exactly.
spreading and spreading. Uh,
Spreading the, I would say, spreading the good news. Please don't
yes,
shoot me down in the comments.
right. Well, the whole thing with the Carnivore Diet Documentary was you mentioned the word earlier. People that are hopeless.
Mm,
Because I've been there, you've been there, and that's the definition of hopeless. There's literally
yeah.
no hope. It's like what? There's
Mm,
nothing else I can possibly do. But we should just ban that word because I don't think anyone has to be. I don't think anyone has to
helpless.
be
Yeah.
hopeless. Um,
Yeah.
so
For me, this is the way out.
yes,
This
Eh,
is the quickest way out. Let me rather say the quickest way, because for me it was quick. And maybe for others it will take a little bit longer. But this is like a good solution to the suffering. And yes, I can say later on about my wife as well. I can bring that also up.
right. Well, it's the thing that's so crazy with it too is it's the way out to stop those things. Like my depression, anxiety, that was the worst. That was when I was most
Mm,
hopeless. 8 years of just horrible depression. It's
yeah,
gone, but it's not that it's just gone. It's reversed. Like my
yeah.
mood and my happiness and I'm the opposite. I'm not just like a normal human now getting through life. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood all the time and I have a default smile on my face that's never happened my whole life before. So
Mm, wow.
it's it's crazy. You say some of these things, and non-carnivore people are like, "You guys are making this stuff up," and then you talk to other carnivores, and they're all like, "Yeah, that's happened to me too."
Yes. It's happening. It's happening. It's mind changing.
So one question I want to ask you, Graham, because this is interesting. We're right on the same path, literally the same time frame. Have you
Mm.
had any issues over the months on carnivore, or anything weird that's come up to you where you're like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting this."
And for me, the unexpected maybe is the hair that is going stronger. That was unexpected. I re- and the dandruff. I had a lot of dandruff. That is like wow, boom, phew, gone. If I have to make sound effects to it, loose teeth in my gums and my gums loose teeth. Um, that is like solid. That for me is like, why isn't my teeth loose anymore? I even had dreams where my teeth is falling out.
Mm,
So loose teeth, that is gone. Like I said, the headaches has disappeared. The migraines disappeared. It's not my second week not drinking meds. So it's like that is also coming to into play. So that is also something interesting. Um, yeah, I think there's more carry. I can't say my vision because I'm still wearing specs.
right.
But other than that, I think I'm more what you call energetic.
Mm,
Um, and that is the new thing. When I started, I made a video that said the way I said exercise. I'm not that person. That's not me. I don't like exercise and losing weight. It's a plus. I said that. I'm gonna say, please exercise, please exercise. It works. It works with the carnivore diet. It helps. It basically it helped tremendously my BP, blood pressure. It's like wow, it's a plus. And that is like where I say this is awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, I just pulled your channel up because it's funny when you're saying no exercise and exercise, exercise, exercise. It's amazing though because I was this our story is so similar, Graham, and the same time frame. I hated exercise. I never wanted to, and you
Mm,
start getting this energy on carnivore. You got to, and then you know how better you feel. Like you said, your blood pressure's improving, and
yeah,
it just feels so good when you start doing it. That I you, if you would have told me a year ago, I would actually want to go out and exercise and enjoy doing it. I'd be like, that's crazy. Hey, while we're looking at this, shout out Graham's channel, Carnivore Transformer. Everyone's got to go subscribe. 343 subscribers. We got to get those numbers up for you. You're doing some really cool videos over there. So Carnivore Transformer, I think I get it. You transformed your own life, but what's is there any more behind the name?
If I say thank you, Carrie, for giving me the name, I'm so I'm so blown away by what you said in one of your movies. You said something about carnivore transforming, transforming into carnivore, and I'm like, that's me. I'm busy transforming into a carnivore here. I'm a carnivore transformer, and it was juggling with that. Empower your plate, enrich your life is I love to eat. No, I don't love to eat, but I eat to love.
Mm,
It's that basically playing around with those words.
love it.
So, Katie, you are the person that gave me that name.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm glad to have a part in it. I love the name too because it's like you've obviously transformed, but then kind of has a double meaning, carnivore transformer, because now you're inspiring other people who are then
Mm,
transforming themselves.
and
So
they
that's pretty
become
awesome. Yeah, so everyone watching here, go subscribe to Carnivore Transformer. I have a link in the description below. Um, yeah, one of the we'll check back in there. Let's see where are we at. 343. See if we can get some more subscribers on there. That'd be awesome. Everything's been smooth sailing for me on my 6 months as carnivore. However, about a month ago, all of a sudden something happened. I think what happened was I got down to my goal weight, but I got really, really hungry. Where it was like this big change, where I'm like, "Whoa, this has been so easy for me." I should be careful using the word easy, but once I got into carnivore and doing it, it's just like eat meat, drink water. I'm great. I feel great. Eat, drink, and then every day I would do that, and there was nothing I had to think about. But then one day I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so hungry now, and I ate a lot of food, and I was still hungry, and then Ryan Murphy from Against the Grain. I had him on the 24-hour live stream. He emailed me that very same week and he said the same thing. He's like, Carrie, have you ever seen something like I'm like, it's happening to me right now. And then I mentioned it to Sean and he had the same thing. I think it's because I got down most of my body fat off and then my body kind of panicked. Like, oh, we've been using these reserves of fat you had on your body for fuel. Those are
mm.
gone. What are we going to do? Eat, 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 eat. Anyhow, did you ever have anything like that happen to you, Graham?
I'm just gonna laugh, Katie.
It's happening right now.
No, no. Um, you said in your video, I'm at 160. I've reached my goal. I remember that video. At 160, when I reached my goal, I think it's a week or two after yours. I was like, Kitty is already there. How did he get there? Lion diet.
Yeah,
Hashtag. And when I reached my 160, that switch happened as well.
really.
Yes, and I started to eat more, and I was like, "What's happening?" Um,
Uh oh.
I think the videos on my channel, the shorts, will show that I was eating a lot of meat. I switched from OMAD to 3 MAD, or must I say rather, I was 2 MAD and then went over to 3 MAD. So I'm like totally mad with eating. So yes, I was like, "What's happening?" So this happened to Kerry. It's happening to me at 160, and I'm like, "Is that the target for me as well?" I was like, and my target range is 100 and I think 154 pounds that I need to go to the GPP BMI,
Mm,
and I'm focusing on that. But at 160, I'm still hovering around 160 currently. And I can't understand. It's today 2 meals, tomorrow 3 meals, then sometimes an OMAD in between. But it's not that I switched off the fasting clock.
right.
I had a clock. I switched that off. So now I'm listening to my mental clock here and my stomach clock to tell me what's happening, how many
Right.
meals. Yeah, so yes, Kitty, I would say yes, it happened to me as well.
It's really interesting. I have a video. It's coming out maybe Tuesday where I was talking about the 5 stages of carnivore. And this stage when this switch goes off, I'd never heard anyone talk about it. I've watched so many Dr. Barry, Dr. Chafee videos, But maybe it's just because I never looked for it. But I never heard anyone talk about that stage where it's like you got rid of most of your body fat, you hit your goal, and now you're a lot hungrier. It's like it's kind of cool because then you're like, oh, I did it. My body's like
Yeah.
telling me I did it. But then on the other hand, it's like, whoa, am I gonna have to eat this much food forever? I don't know what happened for you, but I still am eating way more than I was in the months leading up to it. But it's tapered off a little bit for me,
Mm,
thankfully. I'm not completely ravenous every single day, but I am eating more. I did the lion diet, one meal a day for a long time. I
mm,
stopped that a while ago when we went to Alaska, but now I eat. I have been eating like every day. I'll have bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then eating more meat. Like I'll have some burger patties and a steak or something. But it has tapered off a little bit. Has it tapered off for you at all, Graham?
I think you guys mentioned eating more fat,
Yeah.
and that started to turn it around.
Yes.
Because I was getting scared, obviously, of picking up weight and standing on the scale and seeing slight differences. I was getting scared, and I think David told me, "Ah, man, just leave the scale alone, throw the scale alone." I feel like, oh, so why must I throw my trusty friend that tells me every morning what's my weight to throw it away? But yeah, for me, that fat, introducing fat into the diet, the beef fat and all that, um, switched it off. So it's like I have control over that hunger thing. It's either 2 meals or 3 meals, depending
Yeah.
how my system goes. Yeah.
The fat is a huge one, and I have been I
Mm.
kind of subconsciously I've been incorporating a lot more of that now. I always did, but for some reason, for a while, I kind of got away from it. I got a real good taste for sirloin, like strip steaks that don't have a lot of fat in, and then I'd add butter. But
Mhm.
now I'm going back to more ribeyes and the fattier cuts. That's one of the big. Anyone watching this is thinking about carnivore. That's the best advice I think you can give anyone is you need to get more fat than you think. So many
Yeah.
people mess that up and they're like, oh, it's not working for me. And then you look into it, it's like you're just not getting enough fat.
Yep.
Uh,
Correct.
awesome. Man, I love talking to you, Graham. This is great. It's such a similar story and run and everything. How about we take a couple questions here? I've been keeping track. We got a few questions here in the sidebar. First, shout out Theo became a new YouTube member. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Theo. Uh,
TL.
Susan became a new member. Thank
Wow.
you so much, Susan. Oh, one other thing before I jump into questions, I got to give Graham a huge shout out too. Graham has been instrumental helping out with Carnivore Diet movie. How's that been
Hmm.
going for you? I was so busy with the 24-hour live stream, and I was so thankful for Graham helping. Just so anyone here that's listening that doesn't know, I've said this before. The Carnivore Diet documentary is community driven. It's not my documentary at all. It's crowdfunded and it's ideas and resources from all these people coming together. We started this carnivore committee, which is a group of volunteers. And I said, like, look, my initial intention was I'm going to do this documentary by myself, but it's going to take years. Like, I want to do a whole section on heart disease, on type 2 diabetes, on women's health. And I can do that myself, but it's going to take years to do a good job and to research and find who's the best experts and specialists and doctors and what are the best clips out there and what are the best studies and all of this. And so I was like, maybe if we get the community together and some people can volunteer and some people that have experience with each of those specialties. So that's what we did. And then I couldn't manage it all myself, and Graham has been helping manage all of those volunteers. We call it the Carnivore Committee. So I can't thank you enough, Graham. It's been amazing. Like this whole document, it would be years down the road that we would get this done without your help and the help of all those volunteers with the Carnivore Committee. How has that been going for you?
I must say thank you, Kerry, for trusting in me. I'm honored to be part of this committee. Um, but for me, it was like I told my wife, "Hi, Kerry invited me to this," because I was like thinking, should I help? Shouldn't I not? But I think it all started with a list of channels, and I was like, wow, Kerry invited me. And I was there, and you said, don't you want to help? So in the committee, and I was like, Yes, I'll be honored to do that for you, Katie. Just helping. But yeah, I'm like blown away by the people that we have on the committee.
Mm,
They're great. Um, we can't do this without their insight in their knowledge. I'm like appreciated of them and their efforts. So yeah, for me, it's like wow, this is something big, and I do say to the people that don't worry, the movie is coming. If you don't believe me, the movie is coming. If you see me there, you will know
right.
it works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's amazing the amount of work that's getting done collectively. So
Mm,
like before the carnivore committee, it was just kind of me, and then Adam came along and said, if I can
mm,
help you with anything, let me know. And I'm like, I'm just volunteering my time. All of the fundraising, every penny goes to the documentary. And Adam said, I'll volunteer my time too. And I'm like, that's just amazing that you want to do that. And then Alia started, and then I'm like, we started doing some work like for the 10-hour live stream, the 24-hour one. I'm like you were saying earlier, Graham, it was amazing the amount of work and output and decisions we were making and the
mm,
success and stuff. And I'm like, man, a team of carnivores is so impressive. And now we have an army of carnivores working on the documentary. So
mhm,
it's it's good. We've got to do it properly. It's going to take time, but it's really starting to pick up now and clip.
mm,
We're going out to film Maggie, uh,
mm,
the 82-year-old, and then after that, it's going to be boom, 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 boom. I've got a whole other thing. It's some announcements to come early next week, but on what's going on after that. Um, but yeah, the carnivore committee is amazing. So when we get into the thing too is it's so this is the thing I'm struggling with, Graham, is we have so much great content. I want to do each of these sections justice that the carnivore committee is working on, like
mm,
heart disease, for example.
yeah.
In order to do it justice, this documentary is going to be like 8 hours long. So that's the real tricky balancing act is what can we get into this documentary to give it some justice. And then I really think what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up doing a series after this where heart
Mm,
disease will stand on its alone. Carnivore and heart disease, carnivore and women's health, carnivore and type 2 diabetes. But all of this work and all of this research and everything is going to go into this documentary and then any subsequent thing that we have after it. So um, yeah, thank you so much, Graham. I really appreciate it. It's an
mm,
incredible amount of work you've been doing, and the whole team, everyone that's watching, for sure. Shout out to all of them as well.
yeah.
And how are we doing now? Too, I know we had a pretty good group of people, but then there was a couple areas we needed more. Are we still looking for some more volunteers to help on the carnivore committee?
I would say yes, Gary. I would say yes. We need more, yes. The reason why, if there are those that applied and did get an email but didn't reply back, because I'm waiting for that reply back so that I
Right,
can put you onto base camp. So I'm just waiting for that. But for yes, we still need because the team is like trying to find a footing in this whole thing where we said our first option is find a doctor,
right,
find a
yeah,
specialist. Yeah. So and we work it from there and find a candidate.
yep.
Yeah.
So, anyone watching, if you're interested in volunteering or you did, check your email. Maybe you got a reply back and you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, we're looking for some more folks. It's just, especially if you have an area of interest, like, hey, I had type 2 diabetes and I overcame it. Or maybe you're a nutritionist or something like that. But even if you're just passionate and fired up about it, a big part of the task is, like Graham said, finding experts and doctors in the area. Another part of it is researching all of these entries. So we've had over 500 people, and it's still growing now. After the 24-hour live stream, it blew up, that want to participate and share their story in the documentary.
Mm,
Initially, I was going through each of those individually, and I can't, between that and all of the emails I get and stories from people, I just couldn't keep up. So the team is going to be helping go through those as well and find ones that really stand out that could be good in the documentary. So uh, yeah, so if you're interested, shoot me an email, homesteadhow@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below. Uh,
yeah.
awesome. So here we got some questions. Let's see. This one is from the Carnivore Den. I can't lose weight. 6 foot to 361 pounds. No health issues anymore. That's great to hear. Carnivore for 5 months. I eat twice a day with 16:8 window, less than 2,000 calories. What am I doing wrong? Hmm.
I would say you're doing nothing wrong. It is a process. That's what I would also say. It is a process. Your 16 to 8, maybe change it to 18 to 6. See if there's anything that's happening. You can still have your 2 meals a day. Yeah. If I look at it, you can still have 2 meals a day and see if that changes. With the intermittent fasting, I did it step by step, 16:8, 18:6, 20 and 4, and then 23 and 1. And then went over it like 25 hours. So there's no more, then it's minus 1 hour. But yeah, I went 25, 26. Then I tried the 36, which is you skip a day of eating. But that is extreme. For me, it was extreme. I did it twice. I said, no ways. Nothing is happening. Nothing. I don't lose anything on it. So it's not working for me. But yeah, my sweet spot was the OMAD, which is the 23 1. But I can say 18:6 and 20 and 4 works also well.
Yeah. Switch it up for sure. And one other thing I always tell people is really look closely at what you're eating, because a lot of times when I hear people say I'm doing carnivore and I overcame these health issues, which is amazing. I mean, you're not gaining weight. The fact that you're not gaining weight and you overcome these health issues, that's a big win right there. But if you're stalling out, oftentimes I hear from people they're having cheese, and for something with cheese for people, it stalls. It's incredible too, because I know this firsthand. I've done keto on and off for years, and when I would do keto, I was like, how is it scientifically possible I'm not losing weight anymore? Even if I was just having a little bit of cheese, it would stall me out. So if you're doing any cheese, the Carnivore Den, look at that. And then the last thing I'll say is Graham's advice is wonderful. One other thing is to consider is just try Lion Diet. I know it's so extreme for people, but if you're
Mm,
doing carnivore, it's not that big of a jump to do Lion. And I'm not telling you do Lion Diet forever, but if I was in your position, I would say I'm going to try Lion Diet for 3 days and see what it does. Um,
mm,
for everyone I know, myself included, that's done that, it's like they stall out and then the weight just drops off, and it's so quick.
mm,
And I know this is anecdotal, but it just happened to me again. So I was doing, I did Lion Diet for 60 days, and then when I was in Alaska filming Bill, I stopped. I started eating bacon, eggs. Still doing strict carnivore, but bacon, eggs, fish.
mm,
Um, and then I've been doing bacon, eggs, and fish ever since. Especially when I hit that issue that we mentioned earlier, where I was just starving all the time. But 2 days ago, I stopped all of that, and I went back to just Lion Diet, just beef, salt, and water for 2 days, and I don't have to lose any weight. I had a couple days ago, where I had some really bad inflammation in my back. I haven't had that in 6 months. It was giving me flashbacks, Graham, to my former
mm.
standard American diet. I had the same pain in my back I had for years. I had this lower
Wow.
back pain for years, to the point where I was like, oh, I must have injured it in high school, and it's always going to
Mm,
be that way. And it's gone on carnivore, but it started coming back, and I was like, whoa. So, anyways, I'm like, I'll just try Lion for a couple days and see. Well, the other thing was, I went on the scale this morning, and I was down for the first time. I've been steady, and I'm fine because I'm at my goal weight, but I've been steady forever, and it was down like that quick in like 2 days on Lion Diet. So I would encourage you, try Lion Diet for a couple days, not forever, just 3 days. If you're doing carnivore, just eating a bunch of meat for 3 days isn't that big of a stretch, and I guarantee you. I guess guarantee is a strong word, but I'd be willing to bet
yeah.
you'll see some movement for sure.
Hmm.
Here's another question, Joanne. How about carnivore sweeteners? I know honey is allowable to a small amount. Gosh darn, I'm addicted to sweet. Savory has kicked in, but enough to keep me away from making a sweet.
Mm. I can say I didn't have some sweet thing over my lips for a long time, like 6 months ago. Even coffee, tea, things that I love to drink. I think I'm now at maybe 2 months without coffee and 2 months without tea. So that's switching, really going to the next level of drinking. But sweeteners, I've heard bad things about it, so
Yeah.
I
Same
can't I
here.
can't can't give any advice.
Yeah. I I look at it's so hard with carnivore because people are like, "Well, is this carnivore? If I have a diet coke once a month, am I still carnivore?" I don't. What's the definition? Technically, no. Carnivore means you're eating only meat. So having
Yeah.
sweeteners or artificial sweeteners, that's technically not carnivore. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people do extreme keto and they're just fine. But for me, I'm such a I can't moderate. If I had a little bit of sweetener like that the next day, I'd be like, well, I had that. It was not going to be too bad if I just have a raspberry. That's low
Mhm.
glycemic index. And then I'll have the raspberry. And then the next day, I'll be like, oh, I'll have some strawberries. And then in a week from now, I will be binging and eating ice cream and birthday cake. And I'm that bad. So everyone is different. Um,
Mm,
but that sweetener can really mess you up. And some of it where people say, "Oh, it's not like sugar. There's no carbs in it." That kind of thing. It can still trick your body into thinking you're having sugar, and then it can lead to cravings. And one of the biggest things that happened to me on carnivore was not the weight loss and all this other thing. It was the realization that that food was in so much control of me now. And I could tell from talking to Graham, he's the same way as me. I'm in 100% control right now. Like I say on the channel, it's really corny, but I'm the captain of my own ship. I'm in complete control, whatever goes in me. And if you still like, I have to have my Diet Coke, or I have to have an avocado, or I have to have this sweetener, then you haven't fully made that switch where you're in total
mm,
control. Once you get
exactly.
over that sweetener too, it's gone. I don't see someone eating a birthday cake, which happens a lot, family get-togethers. I'm not like, "Oh, gee, it's killing me there." I'm like, "I'll go eat my steak. I'm fine." It would have the first week, or if I was still having sweeteners right now, I would be tempted and have a craving for that. But I don't because I've eliminated it fully, and so you don't think about it anymore when you get out
Mm.
of it completely. Question from Sandra: living in South Africa, are you able to get fresh fruit from trees, mangoes, for example, avocados, and are you ever tempted to do that?
I'm not tempted by any fruit. If I can say yes, we do get fresh stuff, fresh from the tree, but not tempted. People look strange at me when I say no, 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 not for me. Sorry. They offer me. I say no. Sorry. I only eat meat. I, I'm not. It's like that is gone. First 2 weeks, it was a struggle, but it's gone.
Is this? I think I know the answer, but just for the audience too, like what is this your long term? Your carnivore for life now, or do you ever have a plan of well, maybe a year from now I'll start reintroducing things, or
I have that same thoughts of maybe reintroducing, but then I say no, it works for me. I don't want to go back. Don't want to go back to those tablets. If Kelly Hogan can stay so long, maybe I can also. So yeah, and I'm enjoying. I say to my friends, I'm living like a king, just eating meat. I'm
yes,
like Asterix, Obelix in the mix there.
yeah, that's me too. When people ask me that, and I'm like, I'm literally not missing anything from those foods. It's not like
Mm,
I'm deficient in some sort of vitamin that I need to get from some fruit or vegetable. I couldn't feel better, so I'm not missing anything. So I think about that too. Um, I just, yeah. And then, like you said, how can you get bored of this? Like, people are like, oh, on my 200th bite of meat I was eating, people are like, are you getting bored of that yet? No, it's amazing. It tastes so good. My body seems
mm.
to like be thanking me every time I'm doing it. Like you
Yeah.
finally figured it out. Blue collar American patriot. Does anyone else walk through the store and just kind of get disgusted by how much horrible food that is causing so much bad health is being sold?
Well, today JT was with me in the shops. I gave him a video call and he was like, "Wow, look at all the food!" And I just popped around some sugary stuff. He said, "Oh, Graham, run, run, run." Um, I said, "Ah, man, it doesn't phase me. These foods, it's like shopping is a breeze nowadays. It's just in and out. Just
Hmm.
go to what we need and out." So mostly I will go to butcheries as well because that's where everything is as well. So,
Yeah,
but I'm not phased or disgusted, but I'm feeling sad for those that are walking past and just picking up these things, even going to a past a takeaway or something like that. It's sad.
yeah. It is. Maggie, the 82-year-old that we're going to be filming, she's been a carnivore for 60 years. She's just incredible. She raises much of her own meat, but she was just telling me a story the other day. She was at the grocery store, and the lady in front of her was kind of unhealthy, overweight, and had a young daughter too. And the whole cart was filled to the top. And then the lady checked out, and it came out to like 300 US dollars or something like that.
Mhm.
And Maggie was just like, it was all waste. There's like nothing in there that her body needed. And she's putting all of that waste in the cart, all of the money for all of that waste, and then your body has to process all of that. And your body's like, "Oh, what is this? Oh, a Dorito, ice cream, garbage, beer, candy." And your body's like going in overdrive. People wonder why they were fatigued and so sick before. And then what happens with all of that? Straight down the toilet. It's just, it's indelicate to say, I guess, but it's the truth. It's just waste in, waste out. And Maggie's like, you imagine how much meat she could have got for that
Yeah.
$300, and then what it would have done for her body. So yeah, you go to the grocery store and you look around, and you just see a bunch of waste. So Michael said, gratitude is an attitude. Love that. Yeah. Do you have more gratitude, Graham? Now it seems like I appreciate things more, and I'm living more in the moment.
Yes, I appreciate everything. Basically, yes, that's true, Gary. I have
Yeah.
more gratitude.
My friend Jeff, blessings on my journey, stage 4 cancer.
Mm,
I said, why do you call it that? And he said, because I look at every single thing since I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer as a blessing on my journey. I'm like, I need to do, I try to do it, and I'm doing it even more now because of his
mm,
example. So fortunate. Someone said ripple question mark. I mentioned earlier the ripple effect. So like I did carnivore, and now all of a sudden my mom is doing it, my stepdad, both of my sisters, Graham's doing it, and now people are watching Graham do it. And it's kind of like you throw a little stone in the water and you see a little ripple. I was joking with Dr. Barry. I was so fortunate to have him on the channel. I said, we're throwing these little stones in, and you got like a big boulder you're chucking in the water. And I'm like,
uh,
and you start getting all these ripples, and then people start to feel it. These ripples are turning into a wave. And that's what we're hoping to do with the Carnivore
mm,
Diet movie, is create a big wave. Carnivore Brothers ripple effect. He did a video for the 24-hour live stream
yeah,
talking about the ripple effect. I love
ripple
that
effect.
video. Check out Carnivore Brothers on YouTube too. Shout out. I love, if you guys don't remember, we did these little hope segments, and he showed his dad who got into his Boy Scout uniform.
Mm,
I think his
yeah,
dad was like 80 or 90 years old, and he got into his old boy, and his dad's doing carnivore. That's the ripple effect.
yeah.
Learn from his son. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I got a couple more questions here. Someone's asking you, Graham, what was your starting weight?
His starting weight was before intermittent fasting was triple two, which is 222 pounds. Starting weight on carnivore was 203, which is 203 pounds at starting weight. Currently, 160, 161.
Nice. Awesome. PA Beater, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, exactly, you ran out of visceral fat. You need to make up for that fat loss. Yep.
Hmm.
That's a trigger. It's kind of fun with
Mhm.
carnivore. You have these. So, anyways, I did a video on that. Just like these are the distinct stages of carnivore. I counted 5 of them, and that was number 4. 5 for me is you get into maintenance mode. And there's some really good people that you mentioned. Laura Spath is awesome. She's been in maintenance mode for a couple of years. Kelly Hogan's another one, and they figured out how to do that properly. So that's pretty cool. Beach Bum, I want to get off blood pressure medicine. How long do I have to wait after starting BBB and E?
Depending on your own body. That's basically the key. Because the people that I've watched say 3 months, 6 months, and I'm now only starting to see the difference. But introducing exercise, I see the difference. That I'm lower in my blood pressure now. It's under 120 over 80. So only now, and it's now 2 weeks since my blood pressure is so low. And I'm like, okay, do I need to drink this blood pressure tablets anymore? So for me, it's like your body will, or if you check regularly, it will give you a signal. Because I did experience having low blood pressure or under 120/80 drinking tablets, I feel dizzy. I did experience that as well. So that was my trigger in saying, no, 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 I'm not going to feel this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's you really got to listen to your own body. I one of the biggest and frustrating questions I get from people is always like, "Tell me this exact number, this exact date, or tell me exactly what you're eating." And it's like, no, it's completely different for every person.
Mm,
If I told you what I'm eating right now, it's different than what I ate a month ago before I
mm,
got rid of that visceral fat versus 2 months ago. And same thing on the blood pressure and the medication and all of that. Everyone's different. A lot of people ask me, when did my depression go away on carnivore? I've heard different accounts from different people. It really depends. And my situation's different too because I was doing keto before, and that helped get rid of some of the depression too. So um, let's see. We got one more. Nancy Aragon's a new member. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. Every penny we get from memberships goes to the Carnivore Diet Documentary, and I've been doing a weekly live stream, members only live stream. We're doing that
mm.
Thursdays at 3 p.m. I'm going to do one this Thursday, and then next week it'll be on Friday because I'm going to be in Canada. Uh, yeah. So, Graham, we kind of touched on this. I think I got most of the questions here. Let's see if there's any other ones. If are you running into any other carnivores there in South Africa?
Okay, to be honest, um, if you say running into from the community, are we looking at this the community? No, but what I've read on a 24-hour live, I saw that we do have some carnivores in my area and obviously up country. I did see, but who's also joining. Oh, my wife is also also said something there. So
Oh, there we go.
Natasha. So yeah,
Yay, no sugar.
mm,
This is
yeah,
for your wife. I should send you guys this. This book is a life changing book. How dangerous sugar is. Everyone in the world is scared of cholesterol, and everyone in the world should be scared of sugar and inflammation. It leads to
mm.
cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's. So Graham's wife said, Graham asked me to join, but I told him I don't think I can go without my sugar. I'm without sugar for 3 months and amazed that I don't miss it. Oh, Natasha, awesome. Good job. Life changing. That is life changing forever.
Yeah, yeah. She's amazing. I'm like stunned. When the kids told her that she needs to join me. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, this is a serious thing you're talking about. Um, and I gave them the quick research tutorial, what they're going to experience and all that. Gave them that, and they said, no, we're still going. And her thing was only 30 days. I'm only going to try it for 30 days, she and the kids. And it's now 3 months down the line. She's still on it. She don't want to get off. She had a back,
Yes.
she had a back operation, 6 screws in her back. That is like the pain that she had. She was on constant meds for pain, um, and she's sitting a lot at work. So obviously it ached her back and drinking that, and I was like, please, baby, um, can you just join me? And I was like saying to her, I know that this diet will help your back, will help get rid of the pain because I'm like worried over here in seeing you every night, pain, saying, oh, I got this pain, can't sleep properly. And I said, just try it. And after the month, the pain is gone. And
Wow.
that was like, whoa. And I asked her, is she still drinking? So I'm checking up as well. She's still drinking. She says, no. I said, "Is the diet working?" Yes. But so
Okay. I found this on the web phrase that
oh,
is the diet working, yes.
no, man, Siri.
That's so cool. Good job,
Siri.
Graham. That's life changing. That
Yeah.
that back pain going away too. That's one of the things for anyone watching that's thinking of doing carnivore. Um,
Mm.
It's so funny, the back pain. I know it's different for your wife because of the surgery, but inflammation and back pain going away. I hear that from everyone on carnivore. It seems like everyone doing carnivore is like, I didn't even realize I had this back pain or ache, and it goes away so quickly because that inflammation is one of the first things that starts going down when you do carnivore. So
Mm.
that could be a game changer for so many people.
Yeah, yeah. She just said to that. That's basically my thing, and why I'm so fired up about it. That yes, inflammation. If you're struggling with pain, that's inflammation.
Hmm.
Carnivore diet. Just
Yeah,
try that. Just
and
try that.
any itis out there, any itis out there. So colitis,
Mm,
arthritis, it's all just inflammation. And people have it and they don't even know they had it. I had it in my foot and they thought it was gout. That's another one too that gets gout gets the blame. And then a lot of times people are they start carnivore and like, I don't have gout anymore. And they're like, yeah, it probably wasn't even gout for me. It was just inflammation in my
mm.
foot.
Yeah.
So awesome.
No, but
Let's take a quick peek here.
343.
343. I'm gonna hit refresh. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go check out Carnivore Transformer. Come on. 354. Oh, we went up a little bit. Come
Awesome.
on. We can get more than that. Everyone should go
Awesome.
subscribe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Um, Carnivore Today, Adam, shout out. Yeah, I've got a link in the description below, but
Mm,
Graham's channel is at Carnivore Transformer. Yeah, it's
mm.
been an hour and 20 minutes already. That just flew by. I still have a whole bunch of other questions I didn't even ask you yet, but this has been great, Graham. I really enjoyed talking to you. Do you have anything else you want to say or shout out? We got your YouTube channel in the description below.
Yeah. For me, people on the carnivore is so amazing. I'm gonna give a shout out to JT. He's so amazing. To Baba, Robert Baker. He's amazing. Um, let me say thank you to David. I spoke to him about he saw my first video, the struggling video, number one, where I struggled to do push-ups and all that. He saw that video and he's like, Graham, I'm gonna help you. And I was like, professional. A professional is always telling me he's gonna help me. And he started to make videos and I said, I think the video need to do this. Because I normally like to follow a sequence and he's so amazing. And ever since that time, yeah, he became a good friend of mine as well. So yeah, I'm just grateful for and now Katie, you also the other one. Grateful to be you call you as a friend. Yeah. Um, and obviously my wife is like also there. She's amazing by my side, just supporting me and the kids as well.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I'm glad to call you a friend. That's what I was asking too about the South Africa thing. I have plans to fly to overseas to England to film people for the Carnivore Diet Documentary. We got to get a whole group of you and some other folks down there. Maybe you and your wife. We can get in there, get down there and meet in
Yeah,
person. I would love to travel there someday. I've never been over that part of the world for sure.
I'll give you a factory tour
Yeah.
to see how we process fish. Now, people of South Africa know where I'm working as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, one last thing. I'll end on this. Thank you everyone for joining and the questions and comments. Go subscribe to Graham. But good job, Graham. Seriously, I hope you take some time too. I was saying this to Bill the other day. It's amazing what you've done. Like look in the mirror and you got to be proud of yourself and love yourself and be
Mm,
happy with what you did because it's amazing what you did going against everything you've ever been told and now you're healthier than you've ever been and your life's so much better than it was before. It takes a lot of bravery to step out there and do something like that, and it's just awesome. So good job,
thank you.
and
I can give.
thank you so much for everything you're doing with the Carnivore Diet Documentary too. I can't thank you enough.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'll do it again and again and again. Just ask Gary.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you. Awesome. We'll end it there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Graham. Everyone, have a good day. Bye.
Bye.